Calgary's is pretty garbage.
Carolina, terrible. Figure it out, guys.
Hey guys, this is Nino Niederreiter from the Winnipeg Jets.
Hey, I'm Gabriel Velarde.
Hi, I'm Brendan Dillon.
I'm Morgan Barron with the Winnipeg Jets.
Hey, I'm Cole Perfetti from the Winnipeg Jets, and today I'm calling out NHL teams.
Team with the wildest chirps. I'll say Calgary. Had some guys that I trained with in LA last year for me personally. Played against them a lot, obviously being in the same division.
I would say the Minnesota Wild. I used to play there for a long time, and Foligno and obviously Dumba's not there anymore, but they were absolutely hilarious as chirps.
St. Louis, I think they just got a lot of veterans. There's always something barking from their bench.
I don't really know. I keep my mouth shut. I don't really get involved with the chirping too much. There's been a couple times. Last year against Philly was a good one. They had a couple tough guys that were running their mouths the whole time.
I just heard Fetzy go before me. He doesn't chirp much. I also don't chirp much. I clam up pretty good on the ice. I feel like Calgary is always pretty ruthless. Yeah, they play pretty hard, and I know they love, I can remember a few instances of them yelling on our bench, so that's probably the team that comes to mind.
Team with the best arena sound system is Vegas, without question.
Gotta be Vegas. It's probably the best and most fun place to play hockey.
Oh, that's easy. It's got to be Vegas. Playing there's sick. Unreal Arena, brand new. It's Vegas, so it's got to be good.
The bench is like legit shaking when you're sitting. I had a lot of experience, especially my first few years on the bench. And you'd be there, and it'd be like crazy, and they were really loud.
LA and Edmonton, just unbelievable from warm-ups right on through the game. Yeah, Vegas too. I mean, Vegas is, I just don't want to give them credit.
I think the Rangers. Rangers is always fun. It gets bumping in there pretty good. Sick warm-up tunes, so yeah, it's a good one.
Team is the player you're most excited to play against.
I'm just going to go with Pittsburgh. I always like playing. We've played them a couple times now. Crosby was my idol growing up. It's always exciting to play against your childhood idol.
I mean, for me, it was Pittsburgh. I mean, growing up, saw Sid play a lot. He was a pretty cool player to watch, and then kind of be on the ice next to him was pretty cool.
I go Pittsburgh. I always love playing Crosby. I still think he's the best, man. He's so good, and it's kind of like nostalgic going against him. You know, game-winning goal in the Olympics and Stanley Cup champion how many times.
Gotta go with the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, the high-end skill they have throughout the lineup is pretty remarkable. So I gotta say them. Obviously, with Marner, it's you never know what to get, and always is Matthew. The way he shoots the puck, he creates spaces. It's pretty fun to watch. But obviously, I want to win against him, so it's good.
Play against my brother in Montreal is always pretty cool. I did it for the first time last year, so for me, that's pretty much the first game I always look for on the schedule.
Team that you love playing against?
Gotta go with Chicago Blackhawks. I always love playing against them. Always played a lot against them with Minnesota days. Most of the time, I play pretty good against them.
Division rivals. I love playing the Wild. Usually a couple fights, a couple physical encounters in those ones.
I think these games are always fun. Leafs. We haven't done too well against them, but I think it's just always fun games. You know the rink's going to be packed. Honestly, I feel like it's like half Leafs fans in Winnipeg, so hopefully we can fix that this year. It's not great when we come up for a warm-up and there's so many Leafs fans in the barn, but it's always intense games.
And yeah, always excited to play against Vegas. They've been very good. Obviously, they're the Cup winners now, so got to go in there, chip on your shoulder playing against Vegas.
Colorado Avalanche. They're obviously a very, very good team, but I've had a few of my better games in my career so far against these guys, so I enjoy playing against them. I feel good when I play against them, so I'm going to say the Avalanche.
Team you hated as a kid. I was a Flyers fan growing up. I'll go with probably Pittsburgh again. They had a lot of good matchups when I was growing up. Yeah, it seems like Pittsburgh was always beating them, except for 2010. That's when the Flyers finally made the push. Made it to the finals. Couldn't bear down though.
Probably no team. I mean, I'm from Switzerland, and it was always a dream just playing the NHL. So the coverage back then wasn't very large. So I was just a dream playing in the NHL. So I wouldn't hate any team.
Oh, Chicago. I was a Canucks fan, and we just could never get over the hump against them. And they had the dynasty when I was young. So I think from Roberto Luongo to Ryan Kessler, all those guys, we didn't like Chicago very much.
Used to be a Leafs fan, not anymore. 2013 was a bad year. Looking back now, I'm happy it happened.
Montreal. I feel like most guys from out east in Canada, like Maritimes, are either Habs fans or Leafs fans, and if you cheer for one of those teams, you hate the other. So it was always Leafs for my family, and we didn't like the Habs.
Team with the goalie that always has your number.
I feel like a lot of goalies have my number.
I don't know, every team?
James Reimer. I had a breakaway, and he scorpioned, and then I had a 2-on-1 where I got a bunch on a one-timer, and he made a glove save, both at home within 5 minutes of each other. So That wasn't great. And I remember one of them, I think the Scorpion save was on like the TSN top 10 the next day. So it was just like constantly playing in the locker room. I hated that one.
Vegas had my number a couple times. We played them quite a few. I had a lot of good chances in Vegas the first 2 games of the season there. I think it was Aiden Hill the one game. He had my number. It might have been LB the other game. I don't even remember, but I couldn't score. So
I don't know if it's goalie, but I'll say Chicago. Always struggled against Chicago.
I would say the Islanders. I don't think I scored many goals against them, I believe, but I'm not 100% sure.
I think he got like 25, 30 career goals, so maybe a couple teams I haven't scored against, that's for sure. Actually, I think Bucky has my number. In practice, I don't know, in 3 years if I've scored on him.
Team with the best visiting locker room. I'd say Pittsburgh Penguins. I think their visiting locker room is ginormous.
I think it's easy in my brain. Where are they? The Oilers. Nice arena, brand new.
Last 2 years of playoffs against them, spent a lot of time in that room, and very good facilities.
Seattle's is like on par with a lot of teams' home rooms, I think, even ours.
Some of these ones are better than our home locker room, as bad as it is to say. Team with the worst visiting locker room, Calgary's, is pretty garbage.
Carolina, terrible. Figure it out, guys. So crammed. There's not even seats for everyone. Like usually it's the goalies or the scratches are in like a little separate area where you're not even a part of things. So it's not great, not the standard.
Carolina's got like the single stall showers. Locker room's broken up into 2. You gotta basically phone half the team to talk to them during the game. They're on the other side of the wall.
It's not ideal to go into. I mean, you have single stall showers. Not the whole team is in the same room, so you don't see everybody. Especially the goalies are kind of like a separate room. So it's got to be Carolina.
Well, when we played there, it was rotten. I don't know what it is now, but we were getting dressed on the side arena, and it was like a makeshift locker room. So I'm sure it's nice now. Great arena, but when we played, it was not a very nice dressing room.
Team with my most friends on it. I feel like even outside of my brother, I got some friends on Montreal that Alex Newhook just got traded there. My brother, obviously Kovacevic was here. A few guys like that. I met Jake Allen this summer, so.
LA Kings. I just got traded from the LA Kings, for those who don't know it.
I would say Carolina Hurricanes. I obviously played there for quite some time, and the team is more or less still the same.
Started working out with a bunch of different guys this year and creating friendships, but I would say maybe Dallas. A bunch of guys on Dallas that golf with, hang out with. So
Team is the best visiting hotel. I would say the Rangers. So I mean, obviously the city is unbelievable. So wherever you go to, it's pretty fun. So I would say tough to beat New York.
It's gotta be New York. I don't think I've seen a bad one there.
We stayed at the Equinox in New York last year for the whole trip. It was 5 days. Pretty nasty city to kind of just hang out in.
I don't know, I'd say maybe Colorado. Denver's got a nice 4 seasons there. Seattle has a nice 4 seasons. I'm gonna go with Seattle. I like I don't know about the area around it. I'm not too familiar with it, but I like 4 seasons.
Chicago, the peninsula, fantastic. I love that one. I feel like we're always there on like Thanksgiving or around Christmas time too. And just the area it's in, there's always like lights and you might get a little trickle of snow and stuff. So I love going to Chicago. Great food too.
Team with the most underrated city. I'd say Dallas. I don't know if many people know how nice of a town Dallas is. Dallas is great.
The weather's nice. A lot of good restaurants around where we stay. They got a Carbone, so that's big for me. I love Carbone.
Winnipeg. People dog on it. I feel like people don't love staying at the hotels downtown. I know it's cold, but once you get past that part, I think there's some stuff to do here and some great restaurants, and that's all you can ask for in a road city.
Really like the city of Vancouver. Enjoy playing there and always walking around by like that. Sure, it's called the Olympic Harbor or whatever by that area. Got really good sushi there.
Team with the worst jersey. I'm gonna go with their reverse retros. I actually like their regular jerseys, but their reverse retros this year were weird with the baby blue.
I actually like the reverse retros more, like the baby blue ones, but I think their normal jerseys are just kind of eh.
Called the Blue Jackets, and they have a star on their jersey.
I would say the Anaheim Ducks. I mean, it depends which jersey they wear. If they go with the old Mighty Ducks, then obviously it's one of the best. But if they use that logo, it's not my favorite.
Maybe Arizona, probably. What was it, their third jerseys last year, those orange ones? I think it's terrible. I'm not a big fan of it. I can see, I get why. I don't know, I don't get why people are like, I'm not a big fan. Just giving my honest opinion.
Team is the best jersey. I would say the Blackhawks. I mean, growing up, that's kind of like the team which was extremely popular in Switzerland. So that's kind of what I grew up with. So I would say the Blackhawks for that reason.
Our heritage and reverse retros are the best. I think they're amazing.
Hate to be biased, but our third jerseys last year, the white reverse retro, they were so nasty. I got to keep it too. It's in the closet back home. It's getting hang up one day.
I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I think Minnesota's jerseys are great. I love the colors. And the logo is sick. I also didn't know the logo was a bear. I don't know if you guys knew that, but there's like a bear in there. I found that out fairly recently. So is that like a well-known thing? Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I was just late to the party.
Team with the worst ice, that one's easy. LA, I think we played on a when the Lakers played the night before, but my God, it was tough ice that night. And I've heard it's always like that, so.
I'll cut them a little slack because there's so much going on there, but I mean, like, there's a lot going on at MSG too.
I mean, it's easy for me to say LA again. I have a lot of experience there. The ice is always bad.
There's a lot of bad ice in the National League, unfortunately. It's got to be like one of the really warm teams like Florida's. Super humid, hot, bumpy. Pucks don't sit for the boys.
I find ice is one of those things people complain about no matter where you are. Like, it's like referees. You never hear if they're good, but you only hear if it's bad.
Team with the best ice, the Winnipeg Jets. I'm fired up for that. Ice here has always been great every time I've played, and I actually scored both games I played here. So maybe that's the key, the ice.
Usually a colder environment, like I think Buffalo's got great ice. With the Sabres.
Mullet Arena, I thought it was fantastic. It was the first game of the year for them, so rink managers must have been had it all dialed in, but some guys didn't like it, but I thought the ice there was fantastic.
Team with your favorite mascot. I'll say Ottawa. I think his name's like Sparky Cat or something. Is that his name? Do you know? Is that his name? I don't know. Yeah, I grew up in Kingston. My first NHL game was in Ottawa, but I remember as a kid seeing Sparky, I was fired up for that. So.
Team with your favorite mascot? Probably gotta go with Philly. I mean, I feel like this mascot is all over the news all the time.
Gritty or whatever his name is. When he came in, he was on Twitter and stuff, and he was losing his mind, so I don't know, he had a good one.
This is probably more so from my dad's influence. He loves Gritty, but Gritty's pretty funny. Mickey Moose is pretty funny. Like, I'll never forget when I got traded here, my first game at home, he was like banging on the glass, and for whatever reason, I found it like hysterical in the middle of the play. He was just like so aggressively banging on the glass. Like, I was imagining the people like sitting in the seats behind him, just like freaking out because they can't see the game. But
team with your least, oh God, more mascots.
Why is it the polar bear? Like, why don't they have like a...
Where are they at? Beef floor?
a yards keeper? I don't know. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Chance, we figured out his name, the giant lizard. He freaks me the hell out. I don't like Chance. He weirds me out.
Team that you hate playing against? I would say the Calgary Flames because I never really played good games against them.
Most recently, Vegas. Obviously, they beat us in the playoffs. Wasn't a ton of fun. So I guess I'm excited to play against them now, but it's usually pretty tough games, and playoffs didn't go great, as we all know. So I'm trying to fix that up.
I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay because they're just really good. Really hard to play against. It's usually a buzzsaw in there.
I don't like playing against the Minnesota Wild. It's always it's fun, but it's hard. It's always a tough game. They get a couple big boys that like to run around. It's always heavy, so playing against them is not fun, but it is at the same time.
Seattle. They were big bodies on the back end. Very hard to play against last year.